पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. By the infinite grace of Lord Krishna and Sri Ramakrishna, we are continuing to study the Bhagavadgita. We are in the 5th chapter and we had completed the shloka number 10 in the last class. Brahmani adhaya karmani sangham tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate nasapapena padmapatramivambhasa. The prose order would be like this: Yaha karmani brahmani adhaya. One who works. Karmani means works or the activities. Brahmani adaya karmani yaha kurute. One who works dedicating all his actions in Brahman or Ishvara, Saguna Brahma, or the incarnations of God. Brahmani adhaya, resigning or the surrendering. Sangham tyaktva, giving up all attachment towards his own body and the objects of the senses and the relatives and other worldly things. He has to give up the attachment. So all the works to be done, karoti, does. How he does? There are two epithets, two characteristics. First of all, he should brahmani adhaya. He should surrender all his works to the God. And second one is sangham tyaktva. He should be completely detached. This is the way we are asked to do karma. By doing so, what will happen? Lipyate nasa papena. Lipyate, na lipyate. He will not be tainted or affected by any kind of sin, any kind of worldliness. Shri Krishna gives an example. Padma patra miva ambhasa. Ambhasa padma patram iva. Just like the lotus leaf in the water. The lotus leaf is born in water and to a large extent it annihilates or dies in the water. But if you put a drop of water on the lotus leaf, it will not get wet at all. So Sri Ramakrishna used to say, you cannot avoid the world. You have to live in this world, but worldliness should not be allowed to enter into your mind. The boat is in the water, but one should not allow the water to creep into the boat. Otherwise, the boat capsizes. This is the meaning of the sloka. We shall analyze this sloka or the verse in the light of Shankaracharya's commentary. Brahmani adhaya. What does it mean by that? Nikshipya. So nikshepa is a word. In earlier days, even now, we preserve our money in the banks. In earlier days, they used to give to some custodian, trustworthy people, for the safe keeping. That is called a nikshepa or the nikshepa. But here the adhaya means dedicating, surrendering. This meaning should be understood. Here Brahma doesn't mean Nirguna Brahman. Nirguna Brahman is considered to be the principle. It is not a individual. It is not a personality. When we think of the God as a man or with some personality, with qualities, and that is called the Ishvara. So the best examples would be Trimurtis. The same Parabrahman, the principle, has taken the form of Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. The same Vishnu has taken number of forms. We hear of only 10 avatars, but there are description of 24 avatars in Bhagavata. And Bhagavata itself says there are innumerable avatars of the Lord. So we have the ultimate reality, the principle, Nirguna Brahman. When we conceive the Nirguna Brahman with qualities, just like having a personality, then it is called the Ishvara. It is Ishvara who takes the form of a human being, that is called avatara or the incarnation. So we have to surrender all our actions to the God. In the succeeding chapters, we learn how to dedicate the works to the God. We have to dedicate 3 factors concerning works. I have repeated it several times in these classes. The work has got 3 components. One is the doer. We have that egotism, I am the doer. The work belongs to me, the results belongs to me, and I should get name and fame for the work. This egotism or the agencyship, in Sanskrit it is called kartrutva. I am the doer, this sense has to be given up. Lord is the doer, I am not the doer. Lord is making me to do. In the Sri Ramakrishna's words, Aham, I am, Ami Jantra, Tumi Jantri. I am just a machine, you are the operator of the machine. This body, mind, etc. are just operators or the machines in the hand of the Lord. So in the today itself we read 1 or 2 shlokas how Atman is not at all associated with any kind of work. Even philosophically also it is true that only body and mind works, the Atman doesn't work. Anyway, the agencyship has to be given up. If at all we had that agencyship, egotism, that I am the doer, it has to be resigned, surrendered, dedicated to the Lord. We have to know the truth, it is the Lord who is doing everything. The second idea is the work itself. We have this idea, we are very egoistic in saying, this work belongs to me. I am the doer, the first part. The second part is, this work belongs to me. I am a doctor, I treat the people. We should remember Sri Ramakrishna's words when the devotees were talking about compassion, the service of God, service of man, etc., Sri Ramakrishna went into ecstasy. Sri Ramakrishna attained what is called Bhava Samadhi, where he would be identified with a particular mood. In that mood, he said, "Who are you to show compassion? It is God alone who can show compassion. What you can do is seva." So it is all Lord's work. Krishna himself says in the 11th chapter, the last shloka, very famous shloka, both Sri Shankaracharyas, whose Jayanti we are going to celebrate day after tomorrow, and also Sri Madhvacharya, the great Acharya, both agree on one point. They say the 11th chapter, the 55th shloka, the last shloka, contains the essence of the Bhagavadgita. There Krishna says, Matkarma Kritu. It is my work. My bhakta is supposed to do my work. So the work belongs to God. Work doesn't belong to us. If I am engaged in medical profession, the work belongs to God. It doesn't belong to me. I am doing the God's work. If I am in teacher's profession, the teacher's profession belongs to God. It is the God's work. It doesn't belong to me. I am not the possessor of the work. If I am a lawyer or a corporate officer or in IT, in whatever profession I am engaged in, all the professions, all the careers, all the jobs, all the activities belong to God. That is the mindset, that is the attitude we have to develop. The third part about the work is the result of the work. In the second chapter itself, Krishna says, Karmani eva adhikaraha te ma phaleshu kadachana. You have right only to work, not to the result thereof. At the same time, you should abstain from not working. You should continue to work, and you should understand the results of the work belongs to the God. It is God who gives the results of the work. The results are also should be surrendered to God. That the work, the agencyship should be surrendered to God. The work itself should be surrendered to God, and result also should be surrendered to God. What is meant by surrendering the results of the work? We should always keep in mind, whatever work I am doing, the purpose of doing work is God and God alone. I am not after money, I am not after name and fame, I am not after any worldly recognition or the status. My purpose of doing work to please the Lord. Priyatam Pundari Kakshaha. So Lord, let the Lord be pleased with him. This is the philosophy work in the Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission. Every monk performs a work. Some monks have to perform menial works, physical work. Some has to do clerical work, official work. Some are engaged in intellectual work. And all of them should feel or will feel that they are doing Sri Ramakrishna's work. It is Sri Ramakrishna who is doing everything. It is Sri Ramakrishna's work, and the purpose, the motive for which I am doing this work is also Sri Ramakrishna. This is what is meant by Brahmanyadaya Karmani. The second thing is Sangham Tektva. Shankaracharya beautifully puts it. Moksha Pala is the highest result one can conceive of doing the karma. The karmas directly will not fetch the result of the moksha, but indirectly karmas will give us, as we have discussed several times in these classes, peace and the purity of mind, sattva shuddhi. Through sattva shuddhi we become steadfast in the knowledge. It is called jnana nishta, and then we attain what is called liberation. We should not have attachment even to the highest result, that is moksha. That is Shankaracharya's interpretation of the shloka. In other place also he says, Siddhi Siddhyoho Samo Bhutva. In that verse also he says, Siddhi means the highest siddhi, the highest fulfillment, highest attainment of a human being is moksha. One should give up attachment to get even the moksha. So our aim is to continue to do work without caring for, without worrying for the results of the work. The result may be the highest result, maybe even moksha. Mokshepi phalam sangam tyaktva. These are the words of the Lord Shankara. Such man nasa papena lipyate. He will not be related or connected to the papa. Here papa includes punya also. Dharma includes adharma also, because both are binding to the soul. And Swami Vivekananda says, some are golden shackles and some others are iron shackles. Both are binding factors to the soul. So the both dharma and adharma, papa and punya, make us to go around and round in the circle of, in the transmigration. Birth and the death, again birth and again the death. Punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam, etc. If I do a good work, I have to reap the result. I have to be born again to reap the result. So janmantara, janma, the next janma is assured if I do a lot of good work. If I do a lot of bad work, evil work, then also I have to undergo punishment. In order to suffer the punishment, I have to be born again. So, in Vedantic terminology, Shankaracharya often refers that papa includes punya, dharma includes adharma. So, dharma, adharmas are the two faces of the same coin. Papa and punya are the two faces of the same coin. One's objective as a spiritual aspirant is to transcend the limitations of the papa and punya and dharma and adharma and concentrate his mind only on God. We should not ask anything from God. God itself is the most valuable thing in this world. In Bhakti Shastra, God is the only thing to be attained. So the matkarma krut matparamaha, the only objective of our karma or the action should be God and God alone. This is what is meant by Tyaktva, sangham tyaktva karoti yaha na lipyate na sa papena lipyate. He will not be tainted by the papa or the sin. I have explained what is sin. He gives an example, Krishna, Padma Patra Miva Ambhasa. So in prose order, Ambhasa Padma Patra Miva. Just like water, just like the lotus leaf in the water, just like we have a relationship between lotus leaf and the water. In water, Padma Ambhasa, Padma Patra, in water there is lotus leaf, just like that. I have already told you, the lotus leaf does not get wet even though it is born in water, it lives in water, it spends all of its lifetime in water and perishes in water itself. Not a drop of water can wet the lotus leaf. So we are in the world, we will continue to be in the world, and we will die in this world full of worldly propensities, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, etc. And we are in the midst of the worldly people, surrounded by worldly tendencies. Still, we have to maintain our purity of mind, purity of thought, kaya, vacha, manasa. By in mind, in our verbal activities as well as in physical activities, we have to do only good things that will give us more and more purity, that will render us more and more purity. This purity is the essential thing in the spiritual life. Without purity, we cannot understand God. Without understanding God, without developing the identity with the Godhead, we will not be able to achieve the perfectness in spiritual life. If either it is karma yoga or raja yoga or karma bhakti yoga or jnana yoga, whichever way yoga, identity, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am of the nature of pure Satchidananda. This is the knowledge that dawns upon the perfect purity. And Sri Ramakrishna used to say in this regard, Shuddha Atma, Shuddha Manas are one and the same. When mind becomes purified, mind becomes completely transparent as if like a mirror that reflects the light of Atman. And there would be no difference between mind and the Atman. In Vedantic terms, mind gets dissolved in the Atman. Only Atman remains. So that state of mind where mind completely reflects the light of Atman is termed in technical Vedanta Brahma Karita Vritti. The whole mind takes the form of the Atman or the Brahma. The mind also is a Brahman or the Atman, but in a limited sense. When that limited sense goes, that limited sense is due to avidya, what remains is Atman or the Brahman itself. So this is the idea we have to remember. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalaihi indriyairapi yoginaha karma kuruvanti sangham tektva atmashuddhaye. This is the continuation of the previous mantra. How one can attain the status of jnani, the wise man, knowledge, knower of Atman, by performing the karma. Or after having attained that state, if you continue to do the work, you are supposed to continue to do the work. Krishna never in the Gita instructs any jnani to discontinue the work. But he said it is not an ordinary work. It cannot be called work in the secular sense. It is the work without attachment. For an onlooker, external onlooker, it may look like a work, but inside, internally, there is no work at all. Krishna has already explained it in second chapter, Karmani Akarmaya Pashyet. Actually, third chapter, Karma, within Karma, one should be able to see Akarma. In Akarma, one should be able to see the Karma. So let us go through this shloka now. Yoginaha sangham tektva. Already how to give up the attachment is explained in the previous shloka. Yoginaha, the people who are able to completely detach themselves are called the yogins. Yogins has two annotations in our Vedantic tradition. The word is used for the spiritual aspirant as well as one who has become perfect, one who has attained the status of a yogi. Yoga, in stricter sense, one who has attained the status, but one who is on the path of the yoga is also called an yogi. Here the reference is made to one who has become perfect or one who is on the path of the yoga. So Swami Tapasyanji says it is spiritual aspirant which is referred to in this yoga. But Shankaracharya differs from that, whatever it is. So how he will do? He will do all his works without attachment, where attachment has to be given up. I cannot give up the work. Physically, I have to do the work. Sometimes I have to do an intellectual work, mental work. So I am engaging my body, mind and intellect in work. So limit the work to them only. Don't attach yourself to the work. Because philosophically speaking, spiritually speaking, Atman is not the doer. Always have in mind that I am not doing, it is Deha, Kaya that is doing, it is mind that is doing the work as well as the Buddhi or the Kayena Manas Buddhi or the intellect that is doing. So, when you give up the attachment, this is what is called the attachment. So, attachment, there are number of descriptions, number of instructions, number of ways of detachment. This is one of the finest examples, finest illustration of how to give up the attachment. I don't give up my work. I am a medical professional. I don't give up my medical profession. By continuing to engage myself in medical profession, I can be a yogi. If I am in teaching profession, I can continue to be a teacher and become a yogi. This is possible according to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna never says in the Gita to give up the work. In fact, he encourages, exhorts us to transform every work into karma yoga. This is what is called detachment. Sangham tektva, abandoning, giving up attachment. Atma shuddhaye. I was already speaking just few minutes back the importance of purification of the mind. Here Atma means the mind. In Sanskrit literature, we find difficulties in understanding the terms. Atma is used in the pure consciousness, is called Atman. Body is also sometimes is referred to as Atman. Mind also is referred to as Atman. So we should be extremely careful when we try to understand the terms. Here Atma Shuddhaya means purification of the mind. So the detachment is the means for the purification of the mind. The detachment should be practiced even while doing our work and transforming our work into karma yoga. This is the method. And how we should do work? We should continue to do work through kaya, kayena, through with the body, manasa, with the mind, and the buddhya, with the intellect. So it is my body which is doing the work. I am not doing the work. I have no association with the work, because work means agencyship comes, the results will come, the egotism will come. Atman has nothing to do with the work. It is body that is doing the work. I am not the doer. This is the state of a jnani. Here you will find the beautiful blending of karma yoga and the jnana yoga. A karmi will no longer be just a karmi. The karma yogi, he will attain the status of a jnana yogi. Who says karma yoga is different from jnana yoga? Here a jnana yogi is being described, karma sannyasa yoga it is. But karma sannyasa doesn't mean giving up the work, giving up the attachment. For what sake? Atma shuddhaye. How to do karma? Engage your body, engage your mind, engage your intellect, but always understand you have nothing to do with the work. That's why kevalam word is used. Shankaracharya says kevala has to be applied to body, mind as well as intellect. In Sanskrit it will be like this: Kayena kevalam, manasa kevalam, buddhya kevalam, etc. So you do work with your body, continue to do the work. You do work with your mind, you do work with your intellect. But always remember, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect. This is the perfect status of detachment. If you can practice that, you will get what is called a Atma Shuddhi, Atma Samshuddhi. Samyak Shuddhi, it is not an ordinary purification. The ultimate state of purification, Samyak Shuddhi, is called Samshuddhi, Viveka Atma Sashuddhaye. So Atma Shuddhi is the result of such a karma yoga, and one karma yogi evolve himself into a jnana yogi. This is the idea. So kayena manasa buddhya kevalam indriyairapi, indriyaihi api. So not only kaya, manasa and buddhi, you do work through your indriyas also. So indriyas are also to be included. So generally we say kaya, vacha, manasa, etc. Here 4 means of the work, 4 instruments of the work are told. One is the body, one is the mind, another is intellect, and Krishna adds even the indriyas. So we have to add kevala to all of them. Kayena kevalam in merely by kaya. Why merely by body? I am not the doer. Don't disassociate yourself with the body. Always think body is doing the work. Let body goes on doing the work. Manasena kevalam or manasa kevalam. Do work merely or limit your doing the work to the mind. Don't associate the work with yourself, Atman. Always think Atman doesn't do any work. Atman is nirvikara, nishkriya. This is the Vedantic truth. Always limit your work to intellect. And they are all products of avidya and also indriyas. So these are the 4 tools, instruments, sadhanas of the work. So limit the work to them. Suppose that you are the owner of a big house, there are many servants, and you identify with every work. Suppose a cook is cooking, you identify with the cook. If you suppose you say, I am cooking, you are not cooking. The cook is cooking. Suppose there is a sweeper, and he is sweeping. If you say, I am sweeping, you are not sweeping. You are not sweeping. Somebody is there to sweep. So these are all servants. Your body is your servant. Your intellect is your servant. Your mind is your servant. Your indriyas or the senses are your servant. Why you identify with them? You are the Swami. You are the Yajamana. You are the master. Be like a master. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, work like the master, not like the slaves. So, yoginaha karma kuruvanti. This is how the yogis perform their work. So, if they are just spiritual aspirants, those who are in the state of sadhana, they are trying to become perfect yogis. Such people also called yogins. If they are already adept in yoga, it becomes natural for them to do work same. So Gita itself says, for a aspirant, it will be whatever struggle, whatever sadhana he has to do, it will become something natural. For yoga rudastu tasyaiva shamah karana muchyate. This is the idea. Yoginaha karma kuruvanti sangham tektva atma shuddhaye. This I have already explained. Let us have an explanation. Let us derive some inspiration from Shankaracharya. Kayena means dehena. Deha means kaya. Manasa, buddhya. Kevalaihi. Shankaracharya emphasizes on the word kevala very much. He says kevala means don't identify yourself with body, mind, intellect and the senses. Mamatva varjitaihi. Suppose I identify with my body, whatever works done by the body, I think I am doing. Then I have to reap the results of the work, good and bad, and I will be in misery. I will go on, will revolve around the circle of samsara. So the mind, if I am identified with the mind, I will be subjected to 100 kinds of misery, whatever mind suffers from. So, mamatva varjita, giving up of the identification with the body, mind, intellect and the senses is what is called the kevala. Limit the work to body, mind, intellect and the senses. Don't associate with the senses. How to do it? Shankaracharya beautifully says, I am doing every work for the sake of Ishvara, the Supreme Lord. I am not doing any work for my own selfish ends. There is a beautiful Sanskrit, Ishvaraya eva karma karomi na mama phalaya. This is what is meant by mamatva varjita. We cannot give up the egotism all of a sudden. I cannot shut my ego and say, I am the Atman. The best way is to surrender all our actions to the God. This is the state Sri Ramakrishna says, Pakka ami, Kacha ami, Pakka ami. Unripened ego and ripened ego. Ego cannot be given up. Convert into ripened ego. Unripened ego, the man with unripened ego says, this estate is mine, these fields are mine, I have so much land, I have so many companies, I have so many cars. This is unripened ego. But ripened ego, the same person, the other person who is with ripened ego says, I am a devotee of the Lord, I am a servant of the Lord, I do every work for the sake of the Ishvara or the Paramatman. This is the ripened ego. So, kaya, etc., deha, etc., are the instrument. Don't associate yourself as the doer. Let body does its work. Let mind does its work. Let indriyas do their work. Or the buddhi does its work. You just be dissociate from that. Don't identify that. And you will become yogi. Shankaracharya says, yoginaha karminaha. He will become a perfect karma yogi. What is the difference between karma yogi and jnana yogi in that status? Nothing. A perfect karma yogi will become a perfect jnana yogi. Yoginaha karma kuruvanti. So what is the purpose of karma yoga? What is the goal of the karma yoga? What is the attainment of the karma yoga is very much specifically told in the sloka Atma Shuddhaye. So karma yoga is meant for purification of the mind. Only when mind is completely purified, there will be an understanding of the consciousness within us. I am pure consciousness. I am not the body, I am not the mind, etc. Therefore, for you, an ignorant person, O Arjuna, you are eligible only for karma yoga, for not jnana yoga. Jnana yoga should be evolved fruit from the karma yoga. So that is now we are getting the mango fruits. Now it is in our trees in the ashrama we have mango fruits now. Now it is in the state of not yet ripened. We don't call it as fruits. It will ripe in the due course after 1 month or so. So we have to allow our mind to get ripened from unripened ego to the ripened ego. From karma yoga should be naturally evolved into a kind of jnana yoga. This is what Krishna says. Krishna continues, such man yuktaha karma palam tektva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayuktaha kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. Yuktaha, one who is adept in yoga is yukta, that's all. So you may ascribe that term to one who is pursuing the path or one who has attained the path. In both cases this word can be used, as I have already told you. Yuktaha karma phalam tektva. In the previous sloka it says you have to do karma only for purification of the mind. If your goal is purification of the mind, then you have to give up the karma phala. It is not that God doesn't give you karma phala. God will definitely give you karma phala. If you work in a company, if you are honest, hardworking, enterprising, definitely you will get the salary, remuneration or the compensation. But you should not work for that. Your motive of work should be something noble, something higher than just remuneration or the salary. That's what Krishna says. That is what giving up the karma phala. Karma phalam tektva. And how to give up the karma phala already Krishna has explained in the earlier sloka. Dedicate all your action. Dedicate your agencyship, even the results of the action to the God. And that is the perfect detachment. So we have learnt already in these slokas. This is how to give up the karma phala. Karma phalam tektva yuktaha. What he will do? What is the result for him? Naishtikim shantim apnoti. What is naishtikim? Nishtha. So you are steadfast in the path of yoga. If you are steadfast, if you are very diligent, You continue to do sadhana until the end. That is called nishtha. So you will get the result. Even though Krishna says you have to give up the phala, he says there is a phala even for giving up the phala. So you will get the result, some result, that is a spiritual result. What we want is the spiritual goal to be attained, not the worldly result. Here karma phala means worldly result. Here naishtikim shantim is the spiritual goal or the spiritual achievement. Through that steadfastness, you will get the shanti. Shanti mapnoti. Nirvana paramam shantim. In other place Krishna says, Nirvana, moksha, shanti, parama shanti, perfect peace. Why the moksha or the liberation is called shanti? Let us digress ourselves a little bit. Shanti is the state we will not have any propensities or disturbances in our mind. We will not be affected by desires. We will not be affected by attachment. We will not be affected by anger. This is the state of the perfect peace. That you will not get in this world, because the worldly activities need a kind of desire. For all actions are instigated by desire. Kamat krodho bijayate. Or kama leads to action. Avidya, kama and karma. So in a worldly scenario, you can never aspire to be peaceful. That fundamental truth we have to understand. If we don't understand this fundamental truth, we will be missing some very, very important point in the study of Bhagavadgita or the Upanishad. You will never find, Chandogya Upanishad says, only in the highest, Brahman, the God, there is Shanti, there is Sukha. What is perfect peace is perfect bliss. So we think bliss is pleasure. Pleasure is not the bliss. Where there is perfect peace, there is a perfect bliss. So that bliss or the peace you will get only on realization of God. Only in God, only in Atman you will find the perfect peace or the perfect bliss. Shankaracharya in his commentary says, Nirayasa sthiti, he says. So in the state of waking, you are very much troubled by external activities, you are to interacting with external people, external objects. And dream state also, you are very much in distress. You have to undergo a lot of thought processes, or you are living in a dream world, swapna prapancha. So this is ayasa. You are very much tired by this so much activities and all that, while in the state of swapna as well as the waking state. But in the sushupti, nirayasa, no thoughts, mind is not working at all. You are in the Atman, Ananda Sthiti. You do not know you are in the Atman, that's all. Upanishad declares as if you have attained your real status. In the Swapna state or the Jagrat state, you are not embraced your real state, but in the depth of the Sushupti state, deep sleep, you are within yourself. You have embraced yourself. There is nothing disturbs you. That is the perfect state. But even the deep sleep is only a empirical state. Just like the deep sleep, if we can attain the perfect state, giving up all attachments, giving up desires, giving up all kinds of propensities, then there will, what remains is perfect peace, nirayasa sthiti. So naishtikim, that is gained only through the jnana nishtha, only when we are steadfast in jnana or the knowledge. The jnana or the knowledge comes only through our evolving ourselves from karma yoga to jnana yoga. So then what will be the state of ayukta? Ayukta Amud, who has failed to control his senses, one who has digressed himself from the path of yoga, one who is not able to keep his momentum in the path of yoga, he is called a ayukta, unrestrained mind. Tapasyanji explains, it is unrestrained mind. One with unrestrained mind, uncontrolled mind, is called the ayuktaha. Ayuktaha phale saktaha. He will be attached to the phala. See the contrast. Yukta discards the phala or the results of the work. Yuktaha karma phalam tyaktva. He will attain the shanti, which is the cause, which is born, which is the result of the steadfastness. In contrast, ayuktaha phale saktaha becomes very much attached to the phala. I want to become like this. I want to become like this. Nowadays, even 80-year-old people want to do something, want to attain, do something. What they will attain? They have to be hoping for the next world. They have to think of the next world, not this world. This world is over for them. So even 80, 85 people, I will achieve something, I will do something, I will attain, I will get more money, I want more. So this world is like this, always after something, always seeking something. This is called phalaya saktaha. He will get bound, nibadhyate. He will get bound to the samsara, bound to the transmigration, punarapi jananam and the punarapi maranam. Always when there is a bandhana or the bound word comes in Vedanta, you have to understand it to be bound to the samsara. Bondage means bondage to the transmigratory life. We will be born again and again and again and again. There is no liberation. That state is called samsara or the state of the bondage. Why he gets attached to the phala? Why I am so much attracted to the results of the work? I will invest this much money, I will start a company and I will reap the result. I will achieve something, or I will get so much profit. This is the desire. Kama karena. It is kama that causes one to get attached to the results. That is why Krishna says kama karena, caused by the desires. So the ayukta, one who is with unrestrained mind, is overwhelmed by the kama. Then what is yukta? If he can control the desires, he will become yukta. One who doesn't control his mind from desire, he will become ayukta. What is his state? What is his characteristics? Kama karena phalo saktaha nibadhyate. He will be overwhelmed, or he will be affected by the kama, and the kama does make him, kama causes. Kama becomes the reason, kama becomes the cause for him to get attached to the phala. And when he is attached to the phala, he will become bound. So, here you will have the series of cause and effect. The, the fundamental mistake or the fundamental problem is avidya, ignorance. Then kama. Kama leads to karma. Karma, white, ordinary karma, always aspiring for the results of the karma. When your results of the karma becomes the only motive of your action, then you will be revolving in the samsara or the transmigratory cycle. Punarapi jananam, punarapi jananam. Now let us see what Shankara says now. Yuktaha. Shankara is very, very pertinent, very practical here. Ishvaraya karmani karomi. I will do all my actions, all my duties for the sake of the Supreme Lord. Na mama phalaya, not for my results. I will be completely detached from the work. So already Krishna has said, Siddhya siddhyoho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So this is the state of samahita state, concentrated state. In second chapter, it is mentioned as Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekena kurunandana, fully concentrated mind. Concentrated on what I am doing. Always have that knowledge within me as a background to the work that I am dedicating every work, every activity to the Lord and Lord alone. Karma phalam tektva, that I have already explained. Shanti, the real Shanti is in the moksha itself. Mokshakyam Shantihi. Shanti by name, moksha the liberation. Naishtikim Shantim apnoti. The Shanti is not an ordinary Shanti. It is the product, it is the effect. It has come out, it is the offshoot of the karma. It is the offshoot of the steadfastness. How steadfastness comes? Shankaracharya explained, first purification of the mind and the knowledge and renunciation of all agencyship and continue to do your work, that is what is called sannyasa, and steadfastness will come in due course. In contrast, ayuktaha, one who is not concentrated, one who is minded perturbed, asamahitaha, the word is used. Kamakarena, karana here Shankara says, kara means karana, doing something. How do you will do? Always there will be desire behind every action. That is why prompted by the kama. Prompted by the kama, instigated by the kama. So if you do every action prompted or instigated by kama, how you will do it? Mama phalaya idam karomi karma. I am doing this karma to enjoy the results of the karma. I want to enjoy the money. I want to enjoy the name. I want to enjoy the status. I want to enjoy the pleasure. If this is the motive, that is called kama karena. So if kama karena, the same person, he performs instigated by kama, such person is called a ayukta. He will be interested in the phala. He will be attached to the phala. Nibadhyate. Nibadhyate means he will be bound to the samsara. Then what is the message of Krishna here? Shankaracharya says, Krishna is exhorting Arjuna to become yogi. Ataha yuktaha bhava. O Arjuna, Don't become ayukta, you become yukta. He has already given characteristics of yogi and also ayogi. Don't become a yogi. Don't become an ordinary person. Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. In other place Krishna has told. So whenever we try to explain a shloka, the references from other shlokas naturally comes to us. So Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.